Hi everyone and welcome back to my channel. My name is Peter Barber. I am primarily a professional opera singer, music producer, and of course a bass vocalist. Today we're going to be checking out Morissette back on the Wish 1075 bus. This has truly become one of my favorite places to watch artists perform. I love the live aspect. I love hearing what they do in a live setting, and I've mentioned before, while they're sitting down, while they've got headphones on. Usually, I don't know if she will hear, but it's a difficult situation to sing in. So I love seeing what singers can do under these conditions. Guys, please do like this video. Please subscribe to the channel. Please leave a comment for the algorithm. It can be as simple as saying hi Peter or I love Morissette, whatever you want to do. And guys, really, my goal for this channel is to be both entertaining and educational, and really more towards the educational side. So this will be a reaction and analysis video. I'll be pausing to talk about vocal technique, especially because that's where my expertise lies, as well as other artistic choices I feel are necessary to point out. But my goal here is to educate you guys. I want you to enjoy this music more. I want you to appreciate these amazing singers more. So that really is my main goal here with this channel. And if you want to support me, do that. The best way to support me is by joining my Patreon family for as little as $1 a month. And I will leave the link to that below. Also, if you'd like to watch this video all the way through, I will leave a link to that as well, because I will be pausing to analyze what's going on musically. So guys, without further ado, let's check out Morissette. I'm very excited to hear her take on this piece. She's become one of my favorite singers lately. So let's go ahead and dive in.
Hey Wishers, this is Morissette. Don't miss any Wish-exclusive videos. Click here to subscribe.
And she's adorable.
When you hold me in the street and you kiss me on the dance floor, I wish that we could be like that, but can we?
Wow. We have some wonderful Philly sounds coming here. This is what I deal with. Fantastic. Mason, maybe cut this out, maybe not if it's funny. I'm gonna let that go. This is a new record. Hey everyone, welcome back after that lovely car horn. I'm gonna go ahead and restart, and I'm gonna go ahead and take it from the top here.
When you hold me in the street and you kiss me on the dance floor, I wish that we could be like that, but can we be like that? 'Cause I'm yours.
Wish 10.
All right, let's get into it. Starting off very well here. So she starts off, again, a very intimate place to start. Not putting too much power or force or any kind of grit or bite behind the sound, keeping it a nice, soft, intimate singing space. She's allowing a bit more air to come through her vocal folds, so it's opting a little bit towards a more breathy sound instead of a sharp sound. Really what's happening here is the vocal folds, if they come together more during each oscillation, that creates more vocal fold closure, which then creates a more powerful, efficient sound with a lot of high harmonics. So she's doing kind of the opposite of that. It's a softer approach. It's a more gentle approach, which is really a great place to start a song because it gives you a place to go. If you come out of the gate belting your head off, there's no way to lead towards a climax. You're kind of already there. So it's a great place to start the song.
When you hold me in the street.
Also, what I love here is hold me. Every time she has a slightly lengthened pitch, a sustained pitch, she allows a little bit of that nice natural vibrato to come in. Instead of hold me, she goes hold me. You can feel the voice kind of shimmering a little bit.
When you hold me in the street and you kiss me on the dance floor.
So through that movement, she's keeping it straight down, and then on floor of dance floor, she allows the spin. kiss me on the dance floor, and then allows that vibrato to come in.
And you kiss me on the dance floor. I wish that we could be like that. But can we be like that?
So those are really accurate jumps up here. Up to E4s, and of course she's opting towards a lighter mechanism of singing, a head voice mechanism, as opposed to keeping it in pure chest voice. Now she can belt that high up to E4 above tenor high C. I think she did this on Never Enough or Akin Kana Long. I think that's about where her top belt kind of ends. I haven't heard her go higher than that. But right now she's obviously opting, again, for the purpose of giving the song a place to go. If she's belting high E's in the first 20 seconds, it's really hard to go up from there. Literally hard to go up from there.
Me on the dance floor. I wish that we could be like that. But can we be like that? 'Cause I'm yours.
So that's all in that high kind of the lower notes there were in her pure chest voice, but as she flips up, it gets into that lighter mechanism, and she's leaving it airy, kind of like an Ariana Grande, kind of like airy, heady falsetto sound. So there's a lot of air coming through. Again, it sounds like someone's like whispering in your ear. That's always how I think of it. That's why I keep using the word intimate. It just feels like an intimate production of sound.
107.5.
We keep behind closed doors. Every time I see you, I tire it so more. Stolen moments that we steal as the curtain falls. It'll never be enough.
Nice little riff there at the end. Let's back it up a bit. Now, this is a very similar approach to the first verse, so vocally not a lot differently happening, but let's give it a second listen.
Every time I see you behind closed doors. Every time I see you, I tire.
So each of these phrases, it feels like it's broken down into two sections. The first section is more melodic, and then the second part is more almost like percussive. All in the same pitch, which presents a nice little like miniature contrast during this section and during each of these little sections, these phrases, as we journey through this song.
Wish 107.5.
We keep behind closed doors. Every time I see you, I tire it so more. Stolen moments that we steal as the curtain falls. It'll never be enough. It's obvious you're meant for me. Every piece of you, it just fits perfectly.
Still keeping it. It's like you can feel she's like holding back the water, holding back the dam a little bit, as far as like letting her voice go. So she's really keeping it in this intimate place. She's really kind of making us wait for any intensity to ramp up in the sound. So this part sounds very similar to the section right before. You can just feel like there's a place her voice can go that she's just not letting it go yet. And I think it's great. She's holding back. She's going to give it to us later.
It's obvious you're meant for
Also,
me.
whenever drums come in,
Every
it's
piece
different.
of you, it just fits perfectly. Every second, every thought, I'm in so deep, but I'll never show it on my face.
I love a little riff. You guys know my channel, know I love a tasteful riff. You know, not too much. Just a nice little riff right at the end of a phrase. So just add a little bit of spice there. Just keep it fresh, keep it interesting. Big fan.
Never show it on my face.
Oh, my face. Nothing complicated, but it's way more than just my face, or whatever the word is. Face. Nice.
But we know this.
Morissette squeak. Here we go. So this is why she's held it back during the verses, so that during the chorus, she can get up into that meaty part of her, chesty belt range. And it totally changes the energy, totally changes the vibe, the intensity, everything, and it's awesome. So let's talk about it. This bridge to kind of transition. Bravo. Okay, so way off there. Up to C sharp 5s, so that's right above tenor high C. And this is high belting. I've mentioned this before. This takes training, whether it's formal training or whatever. It takes practice and training to be able to belt comfortably and sustainably this high, C sharp 5. We get conditioned by like these vocal range videos, and we hear, people like So-hyun Park, if you guys know So-hyun, who has like the most freakish high belting I've ever heard on anyone. And it makes us lose the kind of a realistic comparison where you have a singer like Morissette, who is incredibly talented, amazing voice, doesn't have a belt range like So-hyun, but belts really comfortably up to a very high place that most people cannot do. So I just want to flag that so that we remain fully appreciative of what this singer in particular, Morissette, can do with her voice, because it's really amazing. And she stays comfortable there. The voice is full. You can hear how efficient the vocal folds are coming together. It's such a pure sound, meaning the closed quotient, that's the actual time during each oscillation that the vocal folds are closed, is very high. You get a really high closed quotient in this kind of singing, pop belting, musical theater belting. In the upper range, opera singers throughout their entire range, that's their goal, to have a really high closed quotient so that you always have a cut in the sound so that you can compete with an orchestra without a microphone, yada, yada, yada. But she's got a very, very efficient sound in her belt range, and it's wonderful. So you can hear there's just no extra breathiness, there's no extra air coming through. And it's kind of counterintuitive because you would think that would require more air, more power, but really it comes down to efficiency. So it's this kind of singing that you can actually sustain super long phrases without having to breathe, which I think I pointed out in the last video I did for her. She did some freakishly long phrase and I was like, it sounds like she was putting out a ton of power, so it seems like, how is that possible? But it's really because if you have more power, it generally means you're using less actual air, which means you can sustain long phrases. I like that little kind of like slide, little scoop up there. And then allows that really nice sine wave. So a sine wave is a sound wave produced by a synthesizer that's just perfectly up and down, just like sounds kind of like that. When I say sine wave vibrato, that means the vibrato has like a very robotic, which is what you want in vibrato. You want as consistent of a spin as possible, like as far as the frequency of the spin and how much the voice is going up and down. The more consistent it is, the better a vibrato is, and the more control a singer has. So she allows this nice sine wave like vibrato to come in here on this kind of mid-range belt. Another tasteful riff, and she's still flipping up to her head voice, the lighter mechanism, M2 mechanism for that E4. So chest, 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 head voice, chest, 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 but then she sings a full chest D before doing that little riff down. That one. With a squeak. So just flag, okay, so this is a great example. Flag the difference of, and this comes down to close quotient. The vocal efficiency that you hear in her high belt range, where there's no extra air coming through, and it right back into her second verse, I assume, where it's back to that more intimate, breathy style singing. And just listen to the difference in timbre, and that comes down to vocal efficiency. It's so different.
Like you do when you're with me. Does it feel the
All right, gotta talk about the instruments there for a second. I love that break. So they come out of the chorus, big belting, all the instruments are going. They go into the second verse, they cut a bunch of the instruments out just for a few bars, and then they bring them back. This is good songwriting.
when you're with her? Do you call her name like you do
1, 2,
when
3,
you're
4.
with me? Does it feel the same?
Kill it.
Would you leave if I was ready to settle down?
Down. Nice. Another tasteful riff. I will pause during most riffs because I like trying to do them and like figuring out what they're doing, because riffs are fascinating. I didn't understand them for a while and how to use them well in an artistic way, and Morissette does, and it's great. Okay, verse 2. So even though it's back to the intimate style singing, it's still more. She's still bringing more voice to it than right where she started. So I'll let you guys go back to right when she started this song, and then jump to the second verse. It's similar style singing, but there is a higher intensity she's exhibiting here.
When you're with me, does it feel the same?
She's really getting into the text too. Like one thing I love about her that I've pointed out before is she really feels the text when she's singing it. She's really communicating a message, which is what singing is all about. You can be a great singer, but if you can't really communicate the message, what's the point, right?
Leave if I was ready to settle down. Would you play it safe and stay? But
Safe. What happened there? That was a different one.
it's safe and stay.
And safe.
But
And safe. Something like
it's
that.
safe and stay. But you know this, we got a love that is homely.
Bring back the bells. that was a big one.
That is homely. Why can't you hold me?
Oh, sweet.
in the street? Why can't I kiss you on the dance floor? I wish that we could be like that. Why can't we be like that? 'Cause I'm yours.
So that's all like super similar to the first chorus. I forgot to flag this earlier. Just also, this is performed live, sitting down with the headphones on. I can't tell you how weird and foreign that is for someone that's used to singing live in like a live setting without all this stuff. Especially sitting down for the breath support system, tough. Singing so well in tune, like really, really extremely well in tune, which I will tell you, it might be subconscious or conscious if you're more or less familiar with singers and music and stuff. If a singer's singing out of tune, you can tell, and if they're really singing in tune, you can tell. And I think that's one reason why people love this performance so much. 206 million views. I mean, god damn. Singing really, really well in tune. Just very well controlled. Bridge.
I don't wanna hide us away. I wonder if it ever will change. I'm living for a day.
Nice flip. So, most of this is very chest dominant singing, but just wanted to flag that little flip she does in there. And you can hear when it's called a lighter mechanism, M1, chest voice to M2, head voice, falsetto, whatever you want to call it. It feels like a lighter mechanism. That's often what it's called. It's the difference really is when you're in pure chest voice, all of the vocal fold apparatus is vibrating. So the thyroretinoids, that's like the muscle of the vocal folds, it's all vibrating. When you go to a lighter mechanism, then just the mucosal membrane, just the edges of the vocal folds are vibrating, which allows them to stretch further for higher pitches because you don't have to stretch so much mass out. So that's why, that's literally what a voice crack is. If you're trying to sing a high note and you're singing really high in chest voice, like getting to that yelly part of your voice, and it cracks, that's a defense mechanism of the voice being like, you shouldn't be stretching the whole vocal fold this far. We're just gonna go ahead and crack, just because it sounds like that. Nothing's actually cracking. It's really the musculature of the vocal folds releasing, and then just the edges of the vocal folds continue to vibrate. It's a safety precaution, really.
Change. I'm living for a day, someday.
All right, bring it down for a minute,
You
and then bring it back.
hold me in the street, and you kiss me on the dance floor.
So now she's opting for an extremely intimate style singing, even more than where she started. So we're really getting a nice journey, a nice roller coaster on this performance. It's really excellent.
I wish that we could be like that. Why can't we be like that? 'Cause I'm yours, I'm yours. Oh, why can't you hold me
Double squeak.
in the street? Why can't I kiss you on the dance floor? I wish that we could be like that. Why can't we be like?
I kind of want her to just rip it in full chest voice in that high E. It's actually easier, probably, just what I learned about her singing, to actually sustain that pitch on like an big like open vowel like she's got now. If you look at the screen recording, if she went be like that, you know, that would actually be probably more difficult to really nail those high E's and to keep it in chest voice. But I'm still kind of hoping it happens.
I wish that we could be like that. Why can't we be like that? 'Cause I'm yours.
So she's got that riff she's done the same time every time. So that's definitely something solid in her training, in her conditioning, whatever. I would say some of the other riffs that sometimes she'll do at like the end of a phrase, probably more unplanned. She's probably taking more liberty and more artistic freedom there to kind of do what she's feeling in the moment.
I'm yours. Why can't I say that I'm in love? I wanna shout it from the rooftops.
Oh yes, big riff.
Shout it from the rooftops. I wish that we could be like that. Why can't we be like that? 'Cause I'm
Yes,
yours.
there it is. Yeah, she did it. She hit in a different context, but she hit the high E. Hell yeah, you go, girl. No, let's get the lead in here.
I wish that we could be like that. Why can't we be like that? 'Cause I'm yours.
Oh, that is just a textbook high E belt, like really, really solid.
Why can't we be like that? Wish we could be like that.
Ending in a very intimate head voice position. Oh, come on, dubstep. Give us a second to cool off here. Yes. What a performance. I really am a huge fan of Morissette. I'm glad I'm taking up there. These amazing Filipino singers, like for real. I just wasn't aware. It wasn't in my YouTube scape. And I don't really go looking. I get recommendations from people. That's how I find a lot of these. Really, really excellent performance. Guys, wow, okay. Here's the deal. If you learned something, and I hope you did. If you didn't learn anything new, you know a lot about singing and the voice and how it works. If you learned something new, right now, subscribe to the channel for sure. And if you felt like you enjoyed this song on a new level, if I brought value to your listening experience, please do consider joining my Patreon for as little as $1 a month. I'd really appreciate that. That is by far the best way. It's not even close. It's the best way to support me as a creator, as an educator. And as a young artist and singer, it pays for what I'm able to do. It's really where I get most of my support. So for real, if you are finding that your experience has been enhanced by this video, please consider joining my Patreon, but definitely subscribe. I'll be back with more Morissette. That's one guarantee I have. I am 2 videos a week. I guarantee in the next month or so, you'll see another Morissette video because I'm going to keep coming back to her until I've burned out her material because I love it and you guys love it. So we'll keep doing it. Anyway, hope you guys enjoyed and I will see you in the next one. Peace.